Hey guys, welcome back to Rossoneri TV. I'm Gio and I'm here for yet again another AC Milan news live stream where I'll be giving you the latest news and rumors currently going on at the club. Lots to speak about today. First of all, I would like to get into Gerard Deulofeu from Everton. After that, I'll be speaking about some updates concerning Sosa. And finally, some good, exciting news regarding Patrick Cutrone. But I'll get all into that in just a few moments. Before I start off, guys, don't forget to leave a like to this video if you enjoyed it, and also subscribe to the channel to stay updated with everything going on at AC Milan on a daily basis. Now, getting in today with some news regarding Deulofeu. Like I said before, some pretty big developments happened today between the two clubs. It seems like contacts have really started between Milan and Everton, and they are fully in charge. First of all, today was supposed to be the day where everything was going to be confirmed. Everton would have gave their answer whether or not Deulofeu would have made the move to Milan or not. But we're still waiting for that answer from Everton. We are still waiting for that specific moment. But like I said before, the clubs are currently negotiating the player, and hopefully he will arrive tomorrow at Milan, or at least throughout the course of the week. Now, initially, Milan was trying to go for Deulofeu with a dry loan, and that means without an option to buy. Then they kind of changed scenarios or strategies to go with the option to buy, and today they've gone back to the original offer, and that was the loan without an option to buy. And that is mostly because Barcelona apparently have a repurchase option in Deulofeu's contract with Everton. And for those of you that still don't know about this, of course, Deulofeu was a product of the Barcelona Academy before joining Everton, and therefore Barcelona do have this clause on the player. If he does, if Barcelona one day want to repurchase him, they have the right to do so. But speaking about how this influences Everton decisions, Deulofeu, first of all, has already mentioned to Milan that he would be willing to arrive at the club. He would be willing to make a move to the Serie A. And Everton might have to just go with what the player wants, because right now I don't think he's finding that much space at Everton. I don't think he's going to be in the long-term plans for the team. And himself, he wants to embark on a new journey, on a new adventure. And I think AC Milan is a perfect destination for him. So we're all praying that Deulofeu could potentially come to Milan this week. In my eyes, I think that, if it doesn't happen this week, if the two clubs don't come to an agreement, then I have real issues or real difficulties believing that Deulofeu will arrive by the end of the transfer window. We've been waiting on Everton for a while now. It's already 17 days in or 15 days in to the transfer window now. And, we've been waiting for Everton's answer for a very long time, and they never really gave us an answer. They were waiting to see whether certain players were going to come back from injury. They made a signing with Schneiderlin going to them, and now, Deulofeu is a possible move. He's possibly going to departing Everton now that Schneiderlin came. But like I said, if Everton cannot give a straightforward answer to Milan this week, I know everyone's saying tomorrow is when we'll know exactly when or if Everton is willing to sell him, or at least give him on loan to Milan. But in my eyes, if it doesn't happen throughout the course of the week, then I think we can just forget about Deulofeu, because I think we just put up way too much time right now. And if it doesn't happen sooner rather than later, for me, there's always problems afterwards. But concerning Galliani's comments regarding Deulofeu's loan, he did also mention himself that they are still in discussions with Everton, and it takes time to formulate, these deals. It doesn't always come so straightforward for both teams. So we'll see what happens. but everyone at Milan is currently waiting for Deulofeu. They're waiting for Everton's answer to see if he comes or not. But let me know in the comment section below if you think that Deulofeu will end up coming to Milan or not in this January transfer window. Moving on, I wanted to speak about Jose Sosa because there are some updates concerning him. A few days ago, I did mention that Fenerbahce, and there was also some offers from Chinese clubs regarding the player. And they wanted to get him. You know, these clubs were interested in signing the player. Fenerbahce was actually thinking of making a big offer to Milan. They were willing to initially offer 7.5 million, the price tag that Milan had to pay to get him from Besiktas. And Fenerbahce was willing to match exactly that offer. But Milan have made a decision, Montella has made a decision as well, and they want to keep Jose Sosa at the club. They've said that he's not for sale, and this is something that could create controversy between the fans, or maybe could not create controversy. In my opinion, you know, Jose Sosa is not getting much playing time, and he's pretty old already. I think he's 30 or 31 if I'm not mistaken. So, you know, he's still in Montella's plans. He's one of the older players in the team. I'm not quite sure how much longer he could really stay at the club. Yes, this is his first season, but I don't think he's going to be one of those long-term players to stay at the club. Therefore, you know, for Milan to not consider giving him away, or at least selling him for the same price that they got him for, I guess they still want to see what he could prove to the club, is one thing. But if he doesn't continue to get playing time, if it continues to depreciate in value, if he doesn't get the performances that we were all hoping for him to get, then you know, he will be depreciating in value, especially as his age goes up and his contract is getting closer to expiry. These are all factors that we have to consider, especially for a player that's not getting playing time. So, as for now, Milan are not selling Jose Sosa. I think we'll have to wait and see until the end of the season to really see what this guy could maybe prove to Montella, prove to the Milan fan base, because so far he hasn't really played much. Yes, he's had some decent performances when he's played, but nothing more than that. So we'll see exactly what he does with Milan, I guess, in the summer, but he won't be for sale in the winter, despite the offer from Fenerbahce and also the Chinese clubs that were reportedly interested in him. Finally, I want to speak about some exciting news today, because Patrick Cutrone has been added to the senior squad. Now, you've already might see him in the past few games. He was already on the bench. He was called up by Montella to be on the roster. Obviously, we didn't see him playing. We didn't see him getting any playing time so far this season. But Patrick Cutrone will be part of the senior squad now, officially until the end of the season. And that is also due to the fact that Luis Adriano has left to Spartak Moscow. He has officially signed for them. I mentioned it yesterday on the live stream watch along throughout the game. So if you guys are still unaware of that, Luis Adriano has completed his move to Spartak Moscow, and Cutrone will be the player replacing him. He has officially earned a spot. This is a very good move for Milan, you know, to bring him from the youth team. Once again, another one of our products to appear in the senior squad. You know, this guy, it's good that he's going to get some experience at the senior level. He's going to be obviously the third choice striker behind Baca and Lapadula. And, you know, I definitely hope that we could see him getting some playing time this season. It'll be fun to watch. Pretty exciting for such a young player to show his worth on the pitch, especially at the senior level. So, I'm very excited about this. I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys are too. Let me know in the comment section what you guys think about today's news concerning, of course, Patrick Cutrone, Jose Sosa, and Deulofeu. Let me know all of that in the comment section below. I'll be reading your comments, and we'll take it from there. So, starting off with your comments, some people are already asking me about Pasalic. What do I think about Pasalic? I think he's a good player. Yesterday, Didn't have the best of games, like I said, but I'm hoping that he develops even more. He's shown some good things this season, but I think he's gonna prove to Milan even more if Milan's gonna consider to buy him or not. How much did Adriano leave for? Says MBR. He left for 1 million euros, but besides the transfer fee, that wasn't much at all. We pretty much gave him away for free. We're pretty much saving a lot on his wages. Unfortunately, those wages that we're saving on won't be credited towards the transfer funds. It's not like we're going to take those wages that we saved and use them for transfers. I think we saved something like 20 or 21 million euros, if I'm not mistaken, which is pretty good concerning that we have to lower that wage bill to give priority to new signings coming in possibly in the summer. So I think it was a good move. Unfortunately, we couldn't get more for him in terms of transfer fees, but in the end, I think it's pretty good. Seedart says, what do I think of the new Juventus logo? I completely don't understand it. Lots of people are saying it's an advancement in modern times and technology or whatever to, market the brand internationally. But personally, I don't see why they changed it. I like when clubs keep their old tradition logos. I definitely hope that Milan don't change their logo because I love it, and I'll always, think of Milan with that specific logo. I will not think of them with a new brand new logo. Like, for me, I don't think it was necessary, and I think it's just to give people something to talk about. It was all over social media yesterday and today. Definitely gave everyone something to talk about, and at the same time, the Juventus name is going wrong because of this. And I think it's a good strategy by them, but personally, I definitely hope that Milan don't go with that approach. Why was Luis Adriano on high wages in the first place? You can ask Galliani that because obviously with his famous signings, you got to give the guy high wages to convince him to come to Milan. No, but realistically speaking, we gave a lot of players pretty high wages just to convince them to join Milan since we weren't in Champions League or anything like that. And the only way that players could join Milan, at least now, before we get into Europe, was probably through that way if we offered them high wages. Carlos Treebaka says, hey Gio, do you think Mastaldi could get promoted to the first team? I haven't actually heard about him for a while now. I think it could be another promotion. I think slowly Milan will promote a lot of more youth players to the team. I think we already seen quite some promotions in recent times. Now, I still hope that they get playing time despite getting these promotions, because at the end of the day, if you're getting promoted just for the experience and to rot on the bench, it's not really a nice sight to watch, is it? So, we'll see what happens, but I definitely hope that Mastaldi will be another addition sooner or later. What are your thoughts on Vangioni's 5-minute debut? Says Lita Bresani. Hope I pronounced that right. To be honest with you, I didn't see much from Vangioni. I really didn't see much. He came on for Calabria for 5 minutes, and really, I don't think he was even involved in any play to give him a great feedback, or at least some feedback on his performance. So I cannot judge him at all. Deulofeu could be the new Sosa, says Dan Maldini. A young player who needs a club to start over his career. Could happen. I have my doubts, but what do you think? I definitely think that Deulofeu would be a good addition if he comes on at Milan. Like I said many times, we need backups. We need players that could play in positions and replace starters, such as Bonaventura or Suso, guys that, will suffer from fatigue sooner or later, and we're going to need proper backups to come in and replace those players. But someone was actually mentioning it the other day. They were saying to put Bonaventura, Baca, and Suso as the starters, and the backups could be like Niang, Lapadula, and Deulofeu. Even though I don't want to see Niang, I think that's a pretty good two trios that we got there, if you ask me. Jim 10 says, Gio, in case Milan doesn't win the league, it will definitely be in the Champions League next season. I'm not quite sure what you meant by that question, to be honest with you. So let me maybe rephrase it and I'll answer it. What is your opinion on Yang's lackluster performance? Gio says, Mike, watched yesterday's video and I pretty much went on a rant with him. But yeah, I definitely did. MBR Football says, I say if we beat Napoli, it will fire us up for the rest of the season and we will finish third. I definitely hope that we beat Napoli. I think, we're going to need to beat our contenders if we want to get anywhere near the Champions League. But right now, I'm just focusing on making it back to Europe. I think Champions League, like many people think, it's a bit far-fetched at the moment. We're still pretty close to the positions, but if you guys look at Roma's bench, Napoli's bench, they're pretty equipped, and we at the moment don't have that equipment. So hopefully, I don't think this winter transfer window we will add many players. Maybe we'll add Deulofeu, but that's about it. But in terms of depth, we're really behind a lot of teams, and that's really what might prove to be the difference, especially in the later months of the Serie A season, because you're going to have to make rotations and stuff, and if Milan don't have the right players to make those rotations, we will be suffering. Arshia says, hey Gio, just joined the stream, but you think Deulofeu could play as a left winger taking Yang's spot since he's right-footed and pretty skillful, so he can cut in on his right foot? I do believe that he could play on both wings, if I'm not mistaken. So, yeah, I don't see why he shouldn't be able to play even on the left side. Preferably, I would keep Bonaventura on the left side because to me, he's a player that should be playing there. Deulofeu could be a backup to Sosa, but all depends to what Montella decides to do with Deulofeu, to be honest. He might play him on one side, he might play him on the other side. But he is technically a right winger, just to clarify. Is a secondary position, though he could also play on the left. Moving on, Let Bersani says Sosa can move to the left wing to impress with his crosses. Deulofeu with his shooting on the right, leaving Bonaventura in the middle with Locatelli and Bertolacci. I don't know about Sosa meaning being on the left. I would keep him on the right, to be honest with you. Seedarth says it will be one hell of a fight for third place. It sure will. Jana Michaels, what do you think about Cutrone? I said it before, I think he's a very good youngster. He can do very good things. I'm happy that he's joined the senior squad. I'm happy that, he's getting the chance to prove his worth. Hopefully, he will be getting some minutes. And, he's been scoring so many goals for the Primavera this season specifically that I believe he earned it. He earned this promotion, especially now that Luis Adriano left. I think that, Cutrone definitely earned his promotion. For those of you that are wondering, he scored 11 goals in 13 appearances for the Primavera this season. And that is just ridiculous if you ask me. On average, in the Primavera season, he's scoring every 105 minutes according to Transfer Market. And that, is almost about every game or so he's scoring. So, that is very, very good. Moving on with some other questions. Why hasn't Zapata been given a chance? Gomez gives me high blood pressure. Montella actually mentioned a few days ago that he's willing to integrate Zapata a bit more in the defense. But at the moment, I just don't see him getting any playing time because there's other players ahead of him. Of course, Paletta, Romagnoli, Gustavo Gomez is getting the preference. He's played about 10 appearances this season, Gustavo Gomez. So, he's been chosen. He's been doing well. But Zapata, last season, sure, he's one of the veterans of this Milan team. One of the players that's played the most. at Milan from this current side, if we take a look at previous years. But Zapata did make a lot of mistakes last year. Yes, he was decent, but he also made a lot of mistakes. And right now, I don't think Zapata should be anywhere near a starting position at Milan. Andy B also says you won't see Zapata again. Believe me, I think he would possibly leave maybe in the summer. Jason Badal says, what's going on with Mastor? Is he good enough to make the Milan side? Lots of people were overhyping Mastor from day one. I never did it. But Mastor, definitely, he's not turning into the player that many people were hoping him to turn in. He's playing in the Eredivisie now, mostly on the Primavera team of the team that he's currently on. He's also played, I think, 1 or 2 games for the senior squad in the Eredivisie, but he hasn't been doing that well, to be honest with you. MBR says if he can even do half of what he's doing in the youth squads for the first team, then Cutrone will be great, and I definitely hope so. I definitely hope so that he could do a good job. Even if he comes on as a third striker option, maybe instead of Lapadula. You know, the guy is 19 years old. If he could get a goal or 2 this season, I think it will give him great motivation to move forward. Maybe gonna answer a few more questions before I leave. Jim 10 says, Gio, what do you think about some of the subscribers being Juventus or Inter fans? Some of the subscribers being fans from other team, I think it's a big honor to my channel. I think it's a big honor to Rossoneri TV, because yes, there are fans from other clubs that do watch our content, and personally, I've heard from some Juventus fans and said, what you're doing is really great. I wish we had something going like that for Juventus. So, you know, if I'm getting praise from opposition fans, I think that we're doing a pretty good job, guys. So, at that moment, I think it's a good thing that we're getting, praise from these fans. But I don't mind. You guys could be from any team on Rossoneri TV. Simply, if you want to stay here for the content, by all means, go for it. Or if you guys want to share your opinion on something, then go for it. All I ask for is to be respectful, and that's all. Christy says, if Deulofeu comes in, who you think will be a sub? You think he will be a sub or a left wing? I think that he will be a sub for Sosa, in my opinion. I don't think he's gonna be playing on the left. MBR says, thanks for the stream, Gio, no problem. I just answered the question from Football Bros. I just said that I think he will be starting from the bench rather than a starter at Milan, but that could also be changed. That could also depend on what Montella thinks. Maybe 1 or 2 more questions before I sign off. I wanted to answer actually a question from Jim 10 because he asked me something regarding the Champions League. Jim 10 says, will Milan be in the Champions League next season or in the Europa League? It all depends on how we perform until the end of February, and I keep repeating it every day almost on this channel. People just love asking me the same question, but realistically speaking, I think that Napoli and Roma are on a different level than us right now. Pretty much the standings speak for themselves. I think Milan has been doing a very good job this season to keep, a competitive team. The season is still very long, and it's all going to depend on Milan at the end of the day, because sure, Napoli, Roma are better teams, but if Milan come out every game and they do exactly what they're supposed to do and not just play 45 minutes like we saw last night, then we're capable of anything. Because unfortunately, sometimes we come out and we only play 45 minutes or 30 minutes, whatever it is, just enough to come back from games, but we never play the full 90 minutes. And unfortunately, we suffered many times this season due to that, and we weren't capable to get 3 points because of that. So hopefully, that will change. Damaldi says, haha, just saying my girlfriend recognizes your voice every time I see the channel. Well, tell her I say hi, I guess. Keep up the good work. Colin says, what player do you see as another diversion instead of Deulofeu? At the moment, I don't see anyone else coming. I think if Deulofeu doesn't come, I think Milan will remain as it is. Unfortunately, we are about 10 to 13 days away from the end of the transfer window. And in my opinion, if nothing happens with Deulofeu, it's going to be way too short to actually bring in someone that's good, that's decent enough. The only movements that we could possibly make in those last 10 days, I think, is loaning out players to other teams. Maybe Banjoni or maybe Rodrigo Eli, for example. Those types of players. Necklor88 says, Gio, should we go with a more defensive formation against Napoli? Maybe a counter-attacking 4-2-3-1. I think that Montella will stick to his module, the 4-3-3, no matter what. I think that he won't be changing module except for the times where, we need to change the scoreline, we need to score goals. And like we saw a few games ago when against Cagliari, he put a 4-2-4 formation. I think that's the only real change that he's going to be making if we are in those circumstances. But to be talking about the change in formation, I don't think so. I think that he'll still be going with a 4-3-3. We will be missing Romagnoli. We will be missing Locatelli. And I'll be talking all about the match against Napoli in just a few days' time when I do the match preview for that. But I think the only positive, just to end that quotation regarding Napoli, I think the only positive going into that game is that we will be playing at the San Siro. Then again, we did lose 4-0 to Napoli at the San Siro. I think it was last season. That was embarrassing. But, we're at the San Siro, and to me, I think that's the only real positive that we can take from that. I think that's gonna wrap it up for today, guys. Like I said, I spoke about Deulofeu today. I spoke about Jose Sosa and Cutrone. You guys can continue writing in the comments. I'll be answering your questions later on. But that's going to wrap it up for today, guys. As usual, don't forget to subscribe to Rossoneri TV to stay updated with everything going on at AC Milan on a daily basis. We got daily news recaps for you guys, match previews, match reviews, and live stream watch-alongs throughout the games, so you guys could have your say as you're watching it. One last thing I did want to mention. A few days ago, we did start a donation page. If you guys are interested in donating any amount to Rossoneri TV to show your support for the channel, you can now do that. The link is in the description box below. The contribution could be anything you want. It doesn't have to be anything crazy. Honestly, it's all up to you if you want to make a donation or not. But we do work very hard on the channel to bring videos to you guys every day. Like I said yesterday, I do make 30-minute videos for you guys on a daily basis. Then on match days, it's even more. I make about 3 hours on that day. So it is more than 900 minutes a month of videos. So I barely get rewarded for it. If you guys want to donate anything, like I said, the link is in the description box. It's just really a sort of an appreciation that you guys could show towards me if you want. So that's going to wrap it up for today. Thank you guys all for watching. This has been Gio signing off from Rossoneri TV. And as always, Forza Milan!